Hey, 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 happy Friday. I am super excited to be here today with these three gentlemen. And why is that? Because Preventative Health Awareness Month is in full swing. And this next Saturday, February the 24th, will be the second annual Preventative Health Awareness Month's collaboration with Men United for Men's Mental Health and Addiction Prevention Day. Last year we did the inaugural one. It was smaller. It was up in Barrie at the Vintage Throne with the team there and Brady Lavold and Puck Support. This year we're amping it up even more and doing a big event. And I have never been more excited and honored to be collaborating with these three men to bring what I believe is not only so important but necessary to talk about not just men's mental health and addiction, but to look at it from a preventative lens at every age and stage of life. And I can't think of a better partnership and collaboration than with Men United. Troy and Luke are here. Troy, you're the founder of Men United, and Luke is your sidekick, and you guys are doing incredible work. So I'm going to let you start by talking, and then we're going to introduce this great guy in the middle who is going to be our keynote speaker that we're pumped about, Paulie O'Byrne, who is the mental health advocate with the London Knights and the first one in the CHL. We're going to change that because mental health matters in sports and in life. Troy, tell us about Men United and how excited are you for this event next Saturday?
Yeah, we're really excited. We're doing a much bigger venue this year, and hopefully we're going to have a great audience with us next Saturday, the 24th at 1 p.m. To 4 p.m. It's at North Bramalea United Church at 363 Howden Boulevard in Brampton. You can look it up. If you need directions, just Google North Bramalea United Church. It's not a church event. It's just that they've donated the space for us to use. It's a great space. We're going to be able to record the sessions that we're having and do some great stuff with it after, but we'll talk about that down the road. I'm really excited this year because we're coming to you from a preventative lens now. Last year, I was just kind of getting this company going, and once I met Marg and she asked me to be a part of the Preventative Health Awareness Month last year, I started thinking, and I thought, well, what can I do differently than what other people might be doing in this space? There's little cottage businesses that do this type of thing across the country, and I haven't really heard too many people talking about prevention. So what our goal is to allow men early in life to learn skills about how to prevent their mental health from getting very poor. And usually when their mental health gets very poor, people start to numb themselves with substances. They numb themselves with other things as well, but it's dangerous to be numbing with substances because then you could create addiction, and that creates depression, and it's just a vicious cycle down, we're spiraling down. So we're going to be giving some great tools this year for the people in the audience that are showing up, and we're also going to give an opportunity for people to send in their emails to us so we can send something special out. I'm going to let Marg talk about what that special thing is going to be. This year we're having a format where we're going to have a bit of a forum where Luke and I are going to be talking with Margaret about our stories, and we're going to have a lot of professionals there who are going to give us a lot of education. I'm really excited to have Paulie with us, Paulie O'Byrne, mental health advocate. As you're saying, first person in the mental health world working in the CHL, and he's got an amazing story. I almost would say he has a great story, but it's not a great story. It's a sad story, actually. But the greatness that comes from it is what he's going to talk about, how he overcame the things in his life to what he's doing today. And so I'm not going to give you too much more than that. You're going to have to come and see or listen to Paulie talk. But Paulie, I'll just introduce yourself here and give us a little nugget about what we can expect to see from you next Saturday when you're speaking to the crowd.
For sure. Thanks, Troy. Yeah. So I'm Paulie O'Byrne, and I've worked really hard in my life to get to where I am. And against some odds, I wasn't in a very healthy spot, and I didn't want to go to a hockey arena. So I'm really grateful and really proud to be the very first mental health consultant in the CHL, and I feel like I work with the best team in the CHL, and maybe that's a little biased, but I'm I bleed green and gold for this year, and I really want to bring my lived experience, and I do bring my lived experience to some athletic mental health stuff with these guys, and hopefully we can get that going across the league. And most of those guys know my story, and it's not an easy story to hear sometimes, but it's a powerful story to learn from. And I've known that for the past 8 years that I've been sharing this message. I've shared it for 500,000 people across Canada. And we've got some numbers, and we've got some butts into detox, and we've got some people on their own path of recovery. And I think that was the whole purpose of sharing my story in the very first place, was to hopefully get someone on their own journey, and they can maybe turn that cycle into something where the recovery story turns cyclical. And I think that we've done that. I'm very, very humbled, and I feel so honored to be able to come and work with Luke and Troy and yourself. And I think that we're probably a pretty big force to be reckoned with, and I'm excited to come next Saturday to Brampton. There's no OHL team in Brampton yet, so it'll be I don't have to go against any team there, and I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited to see everyone. I'm excited to work alongside you guys, and I think the most thing I'm excited to do is to learn some experiences from everyone that's going to be there. One thing that I started was an organization called I'm One of Five. It's really just about prevention and awareness and education and healing and recovery. And I think that that's how I've got to be at the place that I am is through those 5 tools of prevention, awareness, education, healing, and recovery. And I think that aligns really well with Men United and with FAM. And I'm really honored to be part of the family.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we are happy you're part of our family. And I got to tell you, whether you're an athlete or not, we all have our struggles. And what we're hoping to do for next Saturday is to get people of all ages, men and boys of all ages, to be attending sports teams or organizations or schools or whoever. And it's so important, I think, sharing stories authentically. Your story, I've heard some of it, Paulie, and it's powerful. And I think sometimes, Luke, you say it best. We're going to turn a mess into a message, and we can do that in community. And that's what we're about to do next week. And I'm just blown away by watching, the three of you work in the ways that you're doing it in your own recoveries. Because Paulie, you've said it, Troy, you've said it, and Luke, you've said it. You got to work your recovery and your mental health every single day. This is not just about this month; it's about all year long. But these types of events help us to feel like we're not alone, like we can stock our toolbox, but then that we can lean into community and see people like the three of you that are doing the work. It's not always easy, and we sometimes fail, and I'm sure you'll hear some of those stories next week when we get real and honest, but it's worth the work. Would you guys agree with that?
Yes, absolutely.
100%.
I think what people will really get from next week is an inspiration from Paulie, because someone may show up who's going through some things, and they think, man, I'm the only person going through this, or I'm the only person who experienced this, or how can I get over this hump in my life? And when you hear what Paulie has to share, I think people will be extremely, I would say, inspired to,
Yes.
Take the steps. Maybe that very, very first step might be that day where they reach out to one of us, or we're going to have professionals that are going to be at our event as well. And they can definitely reach out to them and ask them some advice on what direction they should be taking to getting their healing in their mind, body, and soul.
Yeah, you bet. Now, Luke, you have been leaning into talk about tools and prevention. I really respect watching you. We've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes to pull something like this together. And yet, you'll sometimes text and say, I'll get back to you, but I'm just going to do X in your self-care, or I'm going to see my counselor, without shame, without embarrassment, but honoring what you need to do for your mental health and for your recovery. That is what, and I honor that, because this is what I do for a living. I've owned a preventative and integrative health clinic for 32 years. This is what putting it into action. So you're excited, aren't you, Luke, to learn some more tools, but to also share your stories of how these tools that before you thought was a bunch of crock and now you're actually doing it, and it's making a difference in your life.
Yes. Yeah, it is. And the thing that Margaret's talking about is I had a therapy appointment and I took a bath after with some candles in the dark. And before, like Margaret said, if somebody told me they did that, I would have such a negative outlook on that. And I probably would have made fun of them. That's where my head was. But these are things that I need to do to take care of myself. And I feel a lot better after I do this stuff. I'm really excited for this event to be working with you guys. I think we got a great team here. A big part of the prevention for me, something I keep in my mind all the time is I hope to reach the 12, 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old Luke Laughlins that are having some struggles but not willing to talk about them. I'm hoping to reach them, with Paulie's story, Troy's story, because I think if we could talk about what it was like when we were younger and the events that took place to get us to a place where it all crashed and burned and then eventually, thank God we got into recovery, because not too many people end up making it. There's the odds are very slim once it's crossed that line. So my hopes is to reach these young guys and to get them to maybe try some of these tools at the age of when they're a teenager. If they hear Paulie talk about something he struggled with when he was their age and then where it went to, maybe they can be like, hey, that's a signal that maybe I got to get my head checked out. Maybe I'm starting to dabble in things that aren't healthy because I just want to not feel the way I'm feeling. So I'm really passionate about that, of reaching those younger kids and then also reaching people that are really struggling no matter what age they're at and having a solution and a toolkit for them to start trying new things to get to where they are. But one thing I said to you, Margaret, right? Like we can't help people if we don't help ourselves. So my recovery and the tools that I use need to come first. And another thing I will share here, I went through a bit of a depressive stage about 2 weeks ago. Before I would have seeked for some sort of pleasure and to get out of that, where today I use my tools. I didn't feel amazing after using those tools, but it helped me to ride out that little spurt that I went through. And I think that's what this is all about, is being able to navigate through these struggles. And so, yeah, I'm excited to be working with you guys. I can't wait for the event next weekend.
Oh, me too. And there's lots of symbolism in what we're doing. I mean, we are raising some funds to give back to mental health in the local community. So we're charging $5. Really, that was to give a hand up, a high five to people that are struggling, the 1 in 5 Canadians that are struggling with mental health, the 5 pillars of wellness. I am your handle at Paulie is I'm 1 in 5.
I'm 1 in 5. So it's just like I'm one of the 8 million Canadians that lives with a mental health diagnosis. I'm one of the 8 million men that have been sexually assaulted. I'm one of the 8 million Canadians that have struggled with a substance use disorder as well. So I'm 1 in 5. It just means, like we're all kind of in this together. And like I know that Luke's 1 in 5 and Troy's 1 in 5. And that I think it just makes it easier to identify with people that we're all kind of 1 in 5, and that those other 4 people still love us.
Absolutely.
So they love that fifth person, and sometimes it's a struggle loving someone with a substance use disorder. It's really hard. So I think that we're all, what I try to do is just to help people realize that addiction happens, and that sometimes we love someone who's struggling with that, and love is a lot of times a really, really solid core of an answer. It's I have lots of parents that say, "What can we do for our kids?" And I say, "You can love them."
Yeah.
Yeah. You can love them
for sure.
Absolutely. And that's why we're doing this and wanting to give back and create community. And you mentioned about the people that love them, whether you are living with somebody with mental health and struggles, depression, anxiety, bipolar, whatever it may be, or whether you are living with somebody that's struggling with an addiction. Love can be stronger, and we're there next Saturday to support them too. Mm-hmm. So if there are women or partners that want to come and be in that room, you are welcome to, all ages. Just to give you a little heads up, we're going to have different practitioners literally stocking your toolbox with different practical strategies that when you leave that room, you can try to put them into action. And you don't have to do all of it. You can do one thing at a time. And then we have an opportunity just to casually mingle around, and we're calling it the Try the Tools time, where you can go and maybe talk to the mental health professional that's there, or talk to the nutritionist that's there, or talk to the fascial stretch therapist or the massage therapist, or all the people that are contributing, and try the things that they talked about up on the stage, or pick up the information. And then, as Troy said at the beginning, we're going to also have a digital toolbox, because this is about reaching past February 24th into day-to-day life. So these professionals have generously donated their time and their expertise, and we've got a digital toolbox that will go home with them. A stretching regime, a breath work, a meditation, why you take an Epsom salts bath and the science behind it, so that we can convince some of these guys that think that's frou-frou, that their magnesium from Epsom salts actually plays a role, not just in your muscles, but in your mental health, because the mind and body are connected. And for those not attending live, maybe you live across the country, there's going to be a recording that we're going to be able to share afterwards. But you can also get the digital toolbox, and we'll make sure that we get that information out to you. So if you want to attend, all you have to do is, I'll give you the link. You'll be able to go and download the toolbox, and you'll have all of these resources as a starting point. Thanks to Men United and the FAM movement. I think it's really important, Troy, that we give a shout out to the incredible sponsors
Absolutely.
that have stepped up to the plate. You said the church donated this space for us. This is a grassroots initiative. FAM is not funded. It's an entire month of free education. So we don't have a budget. So Troy, let's speak and give a shout out to the sponsors before we go today, because without them, even the $5 is going directly back into the community to help with mental health, because we're covering the expenses to create something like this to happen. Who are they, Troy?
Well, the main sponsor that we have this year is Bramgate Auto Group. They own, I think, 6 dealerships. They have 3 of them are for used vehicles and for maintenance. They do have new vehicles there to display as well, but their main ones are Audi of Brampton, Audi of Mississauga, and Bramgate Volkswagen in Brampton as well. A friend of mine, Brad Johnson, is one of the co-owners with his brother. His dad started Bramgate Volkswagen on Queen Street in Brampton, I believe, in 1965. He's passed on. So Brad is a big supporter of the community, and he was more than generous to be a sponsor and help us out, because he has people in his family that deal with mental health. And we discussed that with him when we were asking him if he would like to be a sponsor. Marg and I went to visit him in his office at the dealership, and he shared stories with us about his concern for some people in his family, and he wanted to be a part of this day. And he's not doing it to sell cars. Sure, we're going to promote his name because, that's the right thing to do, and give him the acknowledgement for helping us out. But he's doing it more from the sense that he wants to help. He's a community guy, and he wants to help the community that surrounds it, the GTA. And, and if people want to support a company that supports the community, then that's great. I would highly recommend that as well. I have another friend of mine, Celia. I wish I could say her restaurant's name. I'm going to try. Chisakira Duro something. I don't know. Let me check. I have to look it up. Anyway.
I think it's Chiquesa.
Chiquesa. Yeah, you get some Portuguese in your family. Come on, let's go.
Yeah.
So,
Chiquesa.
yeah, she has a Portuguese barbecue restaurant down in Kennedy Road and Orenda area down in Brampton. And she's really supported the community. She's been a part of some other initiatives that I've been in and donated money. And she has a real heart for this community, and also a big heart for preventative health. Some of the things I was talking to her about what we're going to be doing and what we're going to be giving tools to people. She goes, "Oh, I already do that. I go to a homeopath or all these different things." She was telling me, like, "Oh, wow, I didn't know that about you." So we had a long conversation. I learned a lot about that from her as well. We have OsteoSound. That's also a sponsor. Mark can talk more about what they do. I'm not quite sure as much. I think it's bone health is what that is.
Absolutely. Yeah. And OsteoSound is a leader in bone health analysis here in Canada, and a new Health Canada device. It's great not only for athletes, but prevention of bone health, things like osteoporosis. And Megan would like to be there, and she's generously stepped up, as has Christian Fable from Georgetown Toyota, to help as well. So incredible, right? It takes a village, as they
And
say.
Christian is not a company; he's a person. So he
Correct.
he did some promoting of himself in the month of February. But he did a Valentine's type thing on the internet and social media, and he does some pretty outrageous stuff and really funny. So you should follow him on Instagram. He's really
Yeah.
an interesting guy, and he has a a real talent for just coming up with some crazy ideas to draw attention to himself.
Yeah, you want to follow Christian Fable and watch him, because I want everybody to see him in the Cupid suit,
Yes.
because it was hysterical, and the tights at Christmas
Yes.
time. Great guy. He used to coach my son in hockey. He's a big community guy, gives back a lot, and also a firefighter, a volunteer firefighter, and that's the other first responders.
Right.
Paulie, I'm sure you see this too in mental health. First responders. And often the men, you got to man up and be stoic despite what you're seeing and experiencing. So we'd love to see some first responders in the room as well.
Yeah, for sure. One other company I'd love to highlight is Global Coin Solutions. We are going to be collecting foreign currency. If I don't know the exact number. You're going to have to correct me, Mark. If it's $5 billion, $7 billion that people have in foreign currency laying in their drawers. They come home from vacation in Canada alone, just Canada, which is an amazing number. It's crazy. I would never even thought it would be that much. So you come home from Mexico, you go to Europe, you might bring something home as a souvenir, or you think, I might go back there one day, and you never do. So here's this money has been sitting around. One thing is you can't convert that money in Canada. No bank will take it. So it's useless to you other than just being a souvenir. So why not bring it to good use and bring it to our event? We're going to have, what they do is they take the money, they convert it into Canadian money. They have a source that does that. And also, believe it or not, we take Canadian dollars as well. So we don't have to convert that as well. So if you don't have any foreign currency to bring on the day, a few dollars here and there, or whatever it is that you want. And the beneficiary of this money is going to be going to Regeneration in Brampton. They work with the marginalized people within the Brampton city limits, and they have a program where they feed people breakfast and lunch. They have shower facilities there. They have facilities where if you're living on the street and you don't have a OHIP card or whatever it would be, because they don't have an address where to send it, they'll help do a resume. They'll help you get a birth certificate if it's been lost. They'll help you get a health card if it's been lost. They deal with mental health and addiction. So that's why we're partnering with them, because they have men that are on the street living day to day. Think about it. And also hustling to find money to support their addiction. And what their goal is to love on them so much and give them so much hand up
support
that they may, decide today's the day. I'm going to go to that rehab that they're going to help set me up to get in. And so we're going to be donating to that. I mean, filling people's bellies. I mean, you can't heal people if hungry people. You have to get the basic needs of people satisfied. It's like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So the bottom is you need food, you need clothing, you need shelter, sort of thing. Then you can go. So that's what they do to support. So that's why we've chosen them as our charity of choice. I've been there. I've volunteered there many times, serving breakfast. Ted Brown, who has been with that organization for quite a long time, has been a great supporter of that company, and I know him quite well. So it's a great organization. So I think that's everybody. Did I miss anybody?
I think that's it. Okay. No. And Global Coin Solutions, just to reiterate, what I love about it, and I know Scott, ironically, I went to high school with him, and what an incredible way, taking foreign currency that can't be used, repatriating it back to the country of origin, converting it into Canadian dollars to support local charity. Think global, act local. It's phenomenal. And in the times of struggle right now, this event is only $5 to attend. But maybe that's all. And if you can't afford that, come anyway. Get your ticket and send us an email and say, I can't afford the $5. We're going to let you in. But if you might have some foreign currency in your bedside table or your grandma's bedside table, and it's going to end up in a landfill, bring it that day, because you're going to be able to contribute and help Regeneration as a result. Yeah. So You know, guys, we got to sell some tickets. We got to get bums in seats, and we're going to make an impact better together. Not just next Saturday, but moving forward. I am pumped about this event, and I want to thank all three of you for your time and your energy. And I can't wait to learn more from your stories next week and share what we're going to do
I
together.
can't wait to learn from these guys too. I know, like, I have a certain routine, and I can't wait to hear what they do and integrate some of that into my life, because I get lazy and sometimes I fall back on those everyday things I need to do. I don't take time to take a bath, and within Epsom salts. And I know that's what you need to do sometimes. So, breaking the stigma of that, even, like, oh my God, you're going to take a bath, and with candles? Like, what's going on here? You're meditating? Like, I never thought I would meditate, but it's changed my life. Sitting in a room, sort of like that. That's not what it's all about. It's not what it's all
No.
about. So,
no, and there'll be lots of different choices to
yeah,
choose from, and you get to pick your
yeah,
tools. So it's not, and you're going to pick it in the way that you want that day. There's no pressure that day. We're there to educate,
yeah.
empower, and inspire you. And that's what it is. So spread this news, share this video, and we're going to see you all next Saturday, February 24th at North Bramley United Church. Thanks, guys. Happy Family Day.
Until next time.
Happy
Yes,
Family
happy
Day.
Family Day.
Stay united.
Stay united. Oh, and Paulie, give the shout out for the run. You got to do it. You got to do it. Even
Go,
though
go Knights, go, baby. Go Knights, go. Go Knights, go.
All right, guys. Happy Friday.
Hey, just quickly before you jump off, I think we have to keep it open for it to upload, right, Marg? When we get off of this. Okay.